What's going on behind the scenes is a charm offensive. Every conservative that's come out publicly opposed to this has been called by the White House and is being cajoled and wooed by the White House to give in. But if conservatives stay together, if we stick together, we will have a force and a negotiation, and we will talk about clean repeal versus replacement if we stick together, because I don't think they have the numbers to pass this at this point.
That's Senator Rand Paul, no fan of the GOP plan to replace Obamacare, calling it dead on arrival, as two House committees are now working hard on the legislation, and they are likely to debate the measure all day. You're watching some of that taking place right now. Joining us now, Congressman Louie Gohmert, a Republican from Texas, a member of the House Freedom Caucus. And I think it's fair to say, Congressman, that at this time yesterday, you were not a big fan of this bill as presented. Your quote is that, I think amidst the horse excrement, we can find a pony around here somewhere. Have you found that pony yet?
Well, no, but we haven't had those that are pushing this bill actually realize they need our support, they can get our support, but we need to at least be as bold as we were in 2015. And as I mentioned to President Trump when he was on the House floor during the State of the Union, you're being told that there's some things we can't do under reconciliation that we have already done. And so anyway, it seems like the Byrd rule or KKK rule, whatever it is they call it down in the Senate, it seems more like a rule that lets them say we can't do that because the Byrd rule or whatever. I mean, there are a lot of things we can do, and the presiding officer makes that call. But if we don't get the more important parts of Obamacare repealed, what's really critical is the prices of the insurance won't go down, the deductibles won't go down. It will still be hurting Americans. Now we're told, well, no, with this bill that we have, we may be able to get up as high as a 10% decrease in the 125 or 50% increase. That's not going to do it for my constituents. We have to do the right thing and repeal as much of Obamacare as it takes to bring the prices down and to make to give the patients more choices in what they do. It's just unaffordable right now, and I'm very concerned that as it is, it's still going to be quite costly. So,
all right, well,
you know, we're holding out, and I learned when President Bush was in the White House that, in fact, I told him, look, you know, I said that I leaned yes, and you've never called me, you've never had me come over to the White House and offered me tea and coffee and like you had these other guys. So from now on, I'm a hard no on everything. And Bush said, oh, well, then come on over to the White House. Let's talk.
He's a fellow Texan. Let me ask you this, though. The bill is being marked up in committee. If you could put one thing on it to make it more palatable to you, what would it be?
Well, that's the problem. There's just one thing is not going to fix it.
Well, we only have 30 seconds, so I'm trying to keep you limited here.
Yeah. Well, but for one thing, we have got to get it to where if you're not legally in the country, you don't get subsidized health care. Take out the tax credit, the new entitlement, and get rid of the Cadillac tax. Don't let it come back in, because it assuredly will.
All right. But that seems like it would be fairly easy to accomplish, to say that if you're not a U.S. citizen, you don't qualify for.
Well, actually, President Obama said that in his speech when Joe Wilson accurately described what he was saying. So anyway, I had a bill back in 2009. I'm for giving people permits if you're coming to pick fruit or vegetables, like we said, but you ought to provide an umbrella health care policy for those people you're bringing in. I'm for doing what other countries in the world do. You'll get a visa, but only when you show us that you have health insurance, and we'll check, and you have to keep it the whole time you're here, or we will throw you out. There are countries that do that, and we should be doing that as well. And if you're here illegally, yes, we're conscientious, we care, we have feelings, we'll let you get health care while you're here illegally, but then you'll get deported, and if you come back in, then it should be a felony and you go to prison. So yeah, we care, but we have got we're bankrupting people that can't afford their own health care because we're paying for everybody else that didn't pay for it. And that's not fair to those that can't afford it.
Congressman Louie Gohmert, Republican of Texas, thanks for coming on.